Hi, Abby.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Sure can.
Cool. Thank you. I have got a few more people we're waiting on, so I'm going to give them a couple minutes, but welcome to the Ozarks. It's beautiful here,
So beautiful.
right?
Mhm.
Um, but as you're getting settled and ready to do some Pilates, if you want to keep your camera on, you can. I can give you corrections as we go. I'll kind of check in every once in a while. Obviously, I'm going to be doing the workout. But if you're like, no, thank you, you can also keep your camera off. That is totally cool. So your choice, whatever your heart desires. I'll give the others about 2 minutes and then we are going to get rolling. Hi, Dad.
Good morning. I just woke up.
Welcome to daytime and the Ozarks.
That's beautiful.
Right? Isn't it awesome?
Wow.
Yeah, pretty amazing.
I thought that's a fake background, like the virtual ones.
Yeah, I just put one of the virtual ones. No, it's actually real.
Green screen.
It's a real screen. It's the real deal. All right. Sue, do you have Haley with you too? Or vice versa? Do you have both of you?
This is Haley, but
Oh,
my
it's just
mom's
Haley. Yeah,
She's
she
right
better
here.
be coming. Okay,
She's just getting a charger.
cool. All right. Hi, Sue.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
It's the other
This
side.
side? Okay.
Okay, everybody say hi to Tony at the exact same time when he enters. Hold on. Okay, oh, wait. 3, 2, 1. Hi, Tony.
Hi,
Hi,
Tony.
Hi,
Tony.
Tony.
We planned that. All right. We are going to get a rolling. Tony, the only thing you missed is that I said if you want to keep your camera on, you can. If you want some corrections along the way, I'll kind of check in every once in a while. You don't have to though. If you'd like to keep it off, that is totally cool too. But other than that, I think we're gonna get rolling. Let's see here. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. You can start at the end of your mats, and we're going to start in a standing position. So wherever you are in space, you're going to plant your heels together, plant your little toes on the ground. Think about pressing your inner thighs together like you're trying to press the ground away from you. You're going to draw your abs in. You should feel that belly button pulling in towards your spine. Once you have that, you can reach your arms up over your head, take a nice big stretch up to the ceiling or the sky, whatever you have above you. And then take one hand onto the wrist of the other and give that a pull. Stretch in one direction. Draw your abs in as you stack that back up and switch that. Other hand reaches up and over. And then you can bring that back to center. From here, tuck your chin into your chest and dive down as if you're reaching up and over a picket fence. Let your head hang, let your arms hang. Just finding a nice big stretch there. As you're doing that, I'm just gonna mute everybody so I don't have any background noise, but feel free if you have questions and whatnot as we go. You can definitely unmute yourself. All right, draw your abs in to stack yourself all the way back up. Reaching your hands back up to the ceiling, and then you can bring your arms down by your sides. From here, I'm gonna have you lift up to your toes, your heels lift off of your mat, and then lower your heels back down with control and rock back into your heels. And then rock back up onto your toes, rock back into your heels, rock up to rock back. Couple more times here. As you lift up your heels, you should feel that your inner thighs work to help make that happen. Your heels press together more as you lift up. They shouldn't pull apart. The next time that you lift up to your toes, hold it for 3, for 2, and for 1, and then widen your feet so that you're about hip distance apart. So you're in a parallel stance with your feet. From there, again, drawing your abs in, lift up to your toes. Your heels are just not connected, and then rock back into your heels. Rock up to rock back. As you're doing that, really focus on using your core to lift up. You're not just lifting up through your toes. Everything lifts and reaches and then lowers back down. One more time here, and hold it when you get up to the top. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Lowering your heels back down. Just wiggle your toes, move them around, see if you can create some space in between them. See if you can move your toes individually. That's hard to do. Just creating some space in between them all. Press your 2 big toes down to the ground as you lift up your other 8 toes. And then you're going to switch that. You're going to press down your 8 toes and lift up your 2 big toes. It's easier said than done. And then switch that again. Press your big toes down, lift up your other 8. Sometimes my hands move when I do this. I don't know if yours do too, if you notice. Press your big toes down, lift up your other 8. Just do that once more. And then you can plant your feet down. All right, moving back into our Pilates stance. Heels are together, toes are apart. You're at the end of your mat still. Draw your abs in as you dive down, reaching to your toes. Now this time, you're gonna keep your abs drawn in, and you're gonna make your hands find the mat. If you need to bend your knees to get there, that's totally fine. You're gonna walk yourself out into a plank position. Once you're there, just hold that. Think about pulling your toes and your hands together. The more that you can pull them together, you should feel that tension in your tummy. You should feel your core working to make that happen. Now send your whole body forward and your whole body back by bending and extending at your ankles. You're just reaching forward with the crown of your head and then reaching back. Now this time, reach your hips up to the ceiling, your eyes look to your knees, and walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Once you're there, you can stack up bone by bone, your lower back, mid back, upper back, everything reaches back up to the ceiling or the sky, and then you can bring your arms down. One more time, reach your arms up and dive down, reaching to your toes. Walk it out into your push-up position. Once you get there, hold it. Again, find that connection to your tummy. You should feel that your hands and your toes are pulling together. Squeeze your right glute to reach your right foot off of the mat, just to float it there for a second. Lower that down and switch it. Now, as you're doing that, you should notice that your tummy stays engaged. Everything in your core should still be working. The only thing that's happening is you're lifting your leg and then you're lowering it. Lift, lower. One more time on each side. Last one. Hips reach back up. Eyes look to your knees and walk your hands all the way back. And then roll your spine all the way back up to the ceiling and bring your arms down. From there, I'm going to have you take a step forward to the front of your mat. A little Pilates challenge for you. If you're my client, you know where we're headed with this. If you're not, it's a fun little challenge. You're going to take one foot behind the other. Now, to make this easier, you go a little bit further back with that back leg. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, that back leg's a little bit farther forward towards your front leg. And you're going to take a seat on your mat without using your hands if you can, but totally okay if you need. All right. Pretty darn good. Awesome. All right, you can plant your feet on your mat. Your arms are just going to reach out in front of you. Draw your abs in. Pull your belly button into your spine as you roll your back down onto your mat. Once you get there, your arms can just come down by your sides. And you can plant your feet on the mat, keeping them in a bent position. Now, anytime we're laying on the mat here, your spine is probably going to have a little bit of a space between your lower back and the mat. And I'm going to have you start by just pressing your spine down into the mat. So you should feel that your belly button pulls in, your abs are working to create that tension in your tummy. Once you have that, I'm going to have you extend one leg on your mat. So your right leg is going to slide away from you, and then you're going to slide that back in, and then switch that opposite leg, and return that back in, and switch that again, Now, as your leg extends and pulls back in, you shouldn't feel anything else moving. The only thing that's moving is that leg. So your back and your hips and your torso, everything should stay in place. Extend and return in. Let's do that one more time on each side. And last one here. And return that back in. All right, spread your legs into a tabletop position. One leg at a time. You're gonna bring one leg into a 90-degree angle. Back stays anchored, abs stay drawn in as you bring that other leg up to meet it. From here, take an inhale. And on your exhale, tuck your chin into your chest and reach long through your fingertips like you're trying to look at your belly button. Reach those fingertips long. Your fingers are just like 6 inches off of the mat maybe. And then extend one of your legs out in front of you. And then return that back in and switch it. And return in and switch. And return in and switch. Let's go one more time on each side. And last one. Returning back into tabletop, head lowers down, arms lower down, leg put. We're gonna move into an exercise called the 100. Again, if you're one of my clients who love the 100, everybody loves the 100. It's 100 pumps of the arms. I will cue you through it, and it's 10 breaths. So focus on your breath. If you're like, I have no idea what this lady's talking about right now, just focus on what my cue is. Focus on your breath, focus on pumping the arms and staying in position. So from here, you're gonna take an inhale. You're gonna exhale to curl up, reach long, your eyes up to your belly button, your arms extend. And we're gonna start pumping the arms here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we wanna make this harder, extend your legs. If you wanna keep it a little bit easier, keep the knees tucked in. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Find your core, stay curled up. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're halfway. Inhale, 2, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like you have a brick on your tummy. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 4, 5. Breathe in. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 80. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome job. Tuck your knees in, give them a hug. And then extend your legs on the mat. Your arms down by your sides, your legs are extended. Right leg reaches up to the ceiling. Once you get that leg extended up, pull that leg back towards you. Find that nice big stretch in the back of your leg. If you want to pull that leg across, do it, whatever feels good. If you want to tuck that knee in, bend, that's cool too. Give that a couple little stretches. If you want to move the ankle the other way. And then you're going to keep that leg reaching up to the ceiling or the sky, arms down by your sides. Your right leg is going to create a circle. We're going to go across the body first, around, and then come up and pause. Now, our goal with this exercise is to just move the leg and to keep everything else in place. So you should feel that your core stays drawn in. Your hips do not move. If you're not sure if they're moving, place your hands on your hips. See if they're moving. We'll go 2 more in this direction. You're pausing each time you get to the top. And then we'll switch directions. Now, out, around, and lift. Out, around, and come up. Out, around to lift. Let's go 2 more here. And last one. These look great, guys. You can lower that leg all the way down onto your mat, extend it, and then we're gonna switch. Now your opposite leg comes up. Draw your abs in again, find that connection to your core. From here, you're going across the body first. Oh, we forgot our stretches. Sue reminded me, I saw it. So your left leg, or whichever one, your second leg, you can pull that leg back towards you. Give it a little stretch. Pull it across. Tuck that knee in. And then when you're ready, that leg extends up to the ceiling. Now we're ready for our single leg circle. Across, around, and lift to pause. Across, around, and come up. Hold those hips nice and steady. If you're having a hard time keeping them still, you can always make your circle a little bit smaller. That helps. Last one here. And then switch your direction. Now let's go out, around, and come up and pause. Out, around, and lift. Out, around to come up. Last 2. And last 1. Awesome job. You can extend your legs, both of them on your mat, and then let's widen your feet so that your feet are towards the corners of your mat. And if you're not on a mat, maybe like just outside of your shoulder distance is about where your feet should be. Got another little challenge for you. From here, you're going to reach your hands up to the ceiling. Now, this is a hard task, so if it feels hard, it is. You're going to start by tucking your chin into your chest, rounding all the way up for your toes. If you can keep your feet on your mat as you do that, and round all the way till you're up. Once you are there, again, you can roll that all the way back down into your starting position. We're focusing on articulating our spine as we roll down. Your hands can reach up over your head this time. Same thing, chin tucks into your chest. Exhale, round and reach to come all the way up for your toes. Imagine you're reaching up and over a beach ball as you're reaching forward towards your toes, so your tummy is pulling back as you are reaching forward. And then draw your abs in to lower that all the way back down again. Lower back, mid back, upper back. Take your time rolling down, reach your hands up. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, bring your feet in a little bit so they're closer, maybe they're hip distance apart. Exhale, chin tucks into your chest, round and reach to come all the way up. If you start to notice that your feet lift up off of your mat when you do that, maybe widen your feet a little bit more. Same thing, roll that down. Take your time getting there. Find your core. Arms reach up. Exhale, chin tucks into your chest, round and reach, reach, reach for your toes. Look at that, Tony. Pro. Nice job. All right, you can lay all the way back down onto your mat, and this time you're gonna bring your feet nice and close together if you haven't already. Last little challenge. Feet are close, toes pull back towards you. Exhale, round and reach to come all the way up for your toes. Awesome. All right, boost yourself forward to the front of your mat and then tuck your knees into your chest. This exercise is called rolling like a ball, which is exactly what you're going to be doing, is rolling like a ball. You're gonna start by pressing your knees into your hands and your hands into your knees. So you're creating some tension in your tummy. You should feel that as you press your knees into your hands. You should feel your core kick on. Now, once you have that, you're gonna keep your chin tucked into your chest. You're gonna roll back to the tips of your shoulder blades and come up into a balanced position on your tailbone again. You're gonna roll back to roll up and pause. Roll back to roll up and pause. If you want to make it more challenging, lower your hands down towards your ankles. Roll back to roll up. We'll go 2 more reps here. Should feel like a nice little massage for your lower back. Every single one of those little baby bones makes contact to your mat. And once you are back up to the top, hold your balanced position, extend your left leg and tuck your right knee into your chest. Once you're there, roll down onto your back. We've got our abs series of 5. So we're gonna stay here for a little bit. If you need a little rest in between, you take it, lower your head down, lower your feet down, whatever you need to do, but we'll keep cruising. So right knee tucks into your chest, and then you're gonna switch that. And then switch. And switch. Pull in and switch. This is called single leg stretch. So as you pull that knee in, think about stretching the backside of your leg. Pull in and switch. Last one. On each side, and then both of your knees tuck into your chest. This is called double leg stretch. Pull them both in, give them a nice big hug, extend your arms and your legs, and then exhale, loop your arms around and tuck your knees back into your chest. Inhale to reach your arms and your legs. Exhale to return back in. Inhale to reach. Exhale to return back in. Inhale, reach. Exhale to return in. We've got one more here. Inhale. And exhale. Once you're here, extend your legs up. Take your hands to your right ankle. Your left leg lowers down. And if that feels like a really big stretch, you can always lower your hands down towards your calf and then switch. If you can reach to your ankle though, do it. That's you, Sue. Reach, pull, and switch, and switch, and switch. Last one on each side. Legs return back up to the ceiling. Your hands go behind your head to support your neck for lower lifts. This is a challenge in itself just to hold this position. So if you just want to hang out here, hang out here. Or if you want more, lower your legs to lift your legs. Inhale to lower, exhale and lift. Inhale to lower, exhale, lift. 2 more here. Inhale to exhale. Last one. Once you return back up to the ceiling, tuck your knees back into your tabletop position for crisscross. This is our last exercise of our ab series. Your knee goes to your opposing shoulder, like you're moving into like a bicycle crunch, just a little bit different in Pilates. You're gonna stay curled as you switch, and then switch, and switch, and switch, and switch. We've got 4 more. We're almost there. For 3, for 2, and for 1. From here, pop yourself up into a seated position. Readjust yourself so that your toes or your heels are on the corners of the mat. Whew, nice job. Hard little series there. You did great. All right, from here, your toes are pulled back towards you. You are in a nice tall spine. I'm gonna have you start by reaching your hands out in front of you. So they're just extended. You're gonna tuck your chin into your chest and round and reach your spine forward. From there, stack yourself up bone by bone. Your lower back pulls you back. Your mid back, your upper back, everything stacks back up. Exhale, chin tucks into your chest to round and reach forward and stack that back up. One more time here, and then we're gonna add a little bit of jazz to it. Exhale as you round and reach forward. Inhale to stack that back up. This time we're gonna find our hands into a wide position. This is the same exercise, we're just gonna add a twist to it. So you're gonna take your right hand, twist and reach towards your left foot. Exhale as you round and reach forward. Inhale to stack back up into your tall spine. Left hand reaches to your right foot. Exhale to round and reach forward. Inhale to stack that back up. One more time each side. Exhale to inhale. And exhale, last one here. And stack yourself all the way back up. All right, bringing your hands to one side of your body, flip yourself into a push-up position. Push-up position, plank position, whatever you'd like to call it. You'll keep your heels pressed together. Your hands, again, just like how we started today, your hands and your toes pulled together. So you should really feel that tension in your tummy, especially after that ab series. Your tummy should definitely be awake. Okay, from here, just rock yourself forward, rock yourself back, do that a couple times. And then from here, I'm gonna have you lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Now, the way that we're gonna do that is in one nice fluid motion. If you can keep squeezing your butt and squeezing your tummy, lower yourself all the way down to your mat in one motion. Once you're there, you can point your toes so that your feet are flat on your mat. And then your eyes are looking to your mat. You're finding length in the neck. We're gonna start to open up the chest. So from here, you're gonna imagine that you have a little marble on the end of your nose. You're gonna press that marble away from your nose, opening up your chest, finding extension through your spine, relax your shoulders, and then lower yourself all the way back down. Let's do that same thing again. So you're gonna press that marble away from the end of your nose. You're gonna open up your chest. When you get there, relax your shoulders. And then lower yourself all the way back down. So you should feel a stretch in the middle of your back and through your upper back. And then lower that back down. Now on your next one, I'm gonna have you hold there when you get there. Once you get there, take your eyes, look to the right, roll your chin down to your chest to look to the left, look back to center, and then lower yourself all the way back down. We're gonna do the same thing in the opposite direction. Press that marble away from the end of your nose, open up your chest. This time look to the right. Your chin rolls down to the chest, look to the left, back to center, and then you can lower yourself all the way back down. From there, bring your hips towards your heels for just a little child's pose. You can find a stretch. Your hips sink down, your hands reach forward on your mat. Draw your abs in. As you are doing that, even though we're stretching, we're always using the core in Pilates. And then we're going to return back into our push-up position. Once we are there, you're on the toes, your heels are still pressed together. You find that connection to your core again. And then from there, I'm going to have you lower yourself all the way back down into your push-up position again. So you're going to lower down, entire body down to the mat. Now we're actually going to do some push-ups now. You're going to lift up to your knees first on your exhale. So exhale to lift up to the knees, and then return back into your plank position, lifting up to the toes. Let's do that same thing again. You're going to lower yourself all the way down. You're going to lift up to the knees, and then lift up to your toes. If that is a challenge in itself, you keep doing that. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, you're going to lower yourself all the way down onto the mat. You're going to exhale to lift your entire body off of the mat. Ideally, that happens all together rather than snaking down and snaking up, if you know what I mean by that, right? We're not lowering down and lifting back up. Should be everything lowers down, everything lifts back up. Let's do that 2 more times. You're either coming up to the knees or the toes, your choice. Inhale to lower it down, exhale to lift back up. 1 more here. Inhale to lower, exhale and lift. From there, you can lower down to the knees, find a child's pose. Let's just get off the hands for a second. We're not quite done with that little series, but we'll give you a little breather. All right, returning back into your plank position on the hands. I promise we'll get off those hands shortly. From here, I'm gonna have you widen your feet so that they're about hip distance or just inside shoulder distance apart, rather than having your heels pressed together. Once you are there, you're going to tap the opposite shoulder with one hand. You can also do this from the knees. That is an option. We're going to tap, lower down, and switch. Now your goal is to keep your body nice and in place. You shouldn't feel like you're moving around too much. If you feel your hips really swinging from one side to the next, you can lower down to the knees. Same thing here. We're really trying to keep the rest of you nice and still. Last couple. And last one. Lower yourself all the way down onto your mat again and widen your hands so that you're making a T with your arms. Your eyes are looking to your mat and your thumbs are pointed up to the ceiling. Shoulders are down and back. You're going to float your hands off of the ground and then lower them back to the ground. It's just called a prone T. You squeeze those shoulder blades and return back. We're going to do that 10 times. For 9, 8, 7, 6, for 5, 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. Nice job. You can lower that down. And this time we're going to bring your arms up over your head. So your arms are extended, you're still laying on your tummy, and your thumbs are still pointed up to the ceiling. Belly button pulls in towards your spine. You're going to lift up both of your hands, floating them off of the mat, and then lower them both back down. Lift up and lower down. Lift and lower. We've got 8 more here. 7, 6, 5. Check in on your core. Your tummy should still be drawn in. 3, 2, and 1. Now widen your hands so that they're to the corners of your mat, almost like you're making a Y. You're gonna lift your hands again off of the mat, and this time you're gonna pull your elbows to your rib cage, and then extend your arms again and lower them back down. Lift up first, pull in second, extend, and then lower. You're going from making a Y to making a W with your arms, and then back to your Y and lower it back down. For 5, for 4, for 3, for 2, and we've got 1 more here. And then you can lower that down and relax. Let's take your hands underneath your chest, kick yourself back into a child's pose just for another little stretch there before we move on. And then returning back into your lying down position on your tummy. The last one here in this little series, and then we'll be moving on. Your arms are extended over your head. This is called swimming. We're going to start with a little swimming prep exercise. So you're going to take your left hand, float that off of the mat, and also extend and lift your right leg. So opposite arm, opposite leg lifts up, lower that down, and then switch that. And then lower that down and switch. And switch. And switch. And switch. For 10, 9, 8, 7, tummy drawn in, 6, 5, 4, for 3, for 2, and for 1. All right, that was your prep. Now when we move into real swimming, everything lifts up, your arms and your legs, your tummy stays drawn in, and our count and our breath is like the 100. So just like how we did inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll do the same thing here. If this gets too challenging, you can always go back to your swimming prep that we just did. But otherwise, let's lift everything up, arms and legs, squeeze your butt, and then we're swimming. Everything moves. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale, 2, 4, 5, one more, inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, awesome job. All right, kick back into one more child's pose, let your hips sink down towards your heels, your hands, your head hang, and then you are going to flip yourself over onto your back. Once you are on your back, we're going to move into some shoulder bridges. So your back is anchored. Your feet are going to plant onto your mat. And we're going to start just like how we did today, started our class with that connection to our belly button. You should feel that your back is pressed down into the mat. Your tummy is drawn in. Just feel that subtle little connection to your core. Once you are there, I'm going to have you change that a little bit. You're going to rock your hips forward and you're going to rock your hips back. So you're going to go from the position that I just told you to find to relaxing that, creating space between your lower back and the mat, and then getting rid of it again. So you're just rocking your hips forward and rocking your hips back. It's not a big movement. It's just rocking forward to rock back. We'll go one more time here. And you should end with your back again anchored to the mat, belly button pulling in. Now the next part of that, you should feel that your core is working to keep your back in place. And then I want you to squeeze your butt and start to lift your hips off of the mat. And then you're going to lower them all the way back down. As you lower your hips down, think about articulating your spine. Meaning one bone at a time makes contact to the mat. So your mid back reaches down first, and then your lower back, and then your glutes, returning back into your starting position. Abs in first, glutes tighten second, squeeze and lift, and then lower that back down. Now, if you have your feet in a hip distance position right now, start to bring them in a little bit, almost to where your feet are right next to one another. Once you're there, draw your abs in, again, squeeze and lift. As you lift up, notice how your inner thighs have to work a little bit harder with your feet closer together, and then lower that all the way back down again. Draw your abs in, squeeze to lift, and then lower that back down. All right, same thing, we're just gonna add a little bit of love to it. You're gonna extend your right leg up to the ceiling. So your right leg is lifted, belly button pulls into your spine, you're gonna squeeze your butt. Same thing, you're gonna lift up your hips. Ideally, your hips stay in alignment, so they're not moving. They should stay nice and close, and then you lower that back down. That right leg stays lifted, belly button pulls in, squeeze and lift, and then lower that back down. Let's go one more time on that side. Squeeze, lift, and then lower that all the way back down. You guys are pros. Nice job. All right, switch that. That leg goes down. Opposite leg lifts up to the ceiling. We did 3 on the other side. We're going to do 3 on this side. Find your connections first before you lift. You're drawing your abs in. Squeeze your butt to lift. And then pause at the top for a second. Slowly lower that down. 2 more here. Take your time lowering down. Once you complete your last 3 on that side, both feet go back down to your mat. Belly button pulls into your spine. We're gonna add a little even more jazz to it. Squeeze your butt. Your hands are pressing down into the mat. You're gonna lift your hips up. Your feet are nice and close together. So as you're lifting your hips up, you should still feel that you have to use your inner thighs to press those knees nice and close together. Now from this position with your hips lifted, you're gonna extend your right leg on the mat. Your right leg extends. You're gonna lift that leg up. You're gonna lower that leg down. You're gonna do that 2 more times. Lift and lower. Hips are still lifted, 1 more. When your leg comes back down to the mat, drag that all the way back into your starting position. Your opposite leg extends, and then lift and lower. And lift and lower 1 more time. Hips stay nice and stable. When your leg comes back down to the mat, drag that all the way back in, and then lower your hips to come down. Bone by bone, your spine lowers down. All right, same thing, 2 more times. Lift up the hips, hold there. Picking up the pace just a little bit. Extend your leg, lift and lower. 3 there, 2, and 1. Leg lowers down, drag it all the way back in. Opposite leg extends to lift, lower, 2 more. And last one. Leg extend, return it back in, lower your hips down. We've got 1 more rep on each side. Abs in, glutes tight. Lift the hips. Right leg extends. Right leg lifts to lower, lift and lower. 1 more. Lower that all the way back down, opposite leg. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower that leg down, drag it back in. Everything lowers down onto your mat, and then you can tuck your knees into your chest for a second to rest. Doing great, guys. All right, I'm gonna have you move into a side lying position. So you can either face me or not face me, or however your mat is. You're gonna line up to the back side of your mat. So your butt, your back, your shoulder, everything is lined up on the back of your mat. Everything's in alignment there. Once you get that position, your legs are your feet are towards the front part of your mat. So you have a little bit of a reach forward with your legs. All right, once we're there, your bottom leg is gonna stay in place. Your top leg is gonna lift up about hip height. You're gonna reach that leg forward, like you're kicking it forward. And you're gonna reach that leg back and squeeze your butt. You're gonna reach that leg forward and reach that leg back. Now we're trying to keep everything else nice and stable and steady. So you should feel that nothing else moves as your top leg reaches forward and back. If you notice that your back arches when you extend your leg back, you're probably just going just a little bit too far. So try to maybe shorten that range of motion just a bit. Forward and back. You should feel your glute squeeze as you reach that leg back. Now line that foot up with your opposing leg. And now you're gonna lift that leg up to the ceiling and pull it down. Lift that leg up and pull down. Imagine you're pulling it through water. You're pulling it down. You're not just letting it fall down. Lift to lower. 2 more. Lift and lower 1 more time here. When your leg comes down, hold it here. You're gonna circle your top leg. Not a huge circle, just like a small to medium-sized circle. Each time that leg passes through, see if you can click your heels together. Again, that's easier said than done. For 3, for 2, and for 1. You're gonna switch the direction of your circles. For 3, for 2, and for 1. All right, that leg lifts up to the ceiling. You're gonna bend that knee, bringing the foot to the opposing inner thigh, and then you're gonna extend it. This is called passe. If you did dance back in the day, cough, cough, Tony, might feel familiar. You're gonna bend that in, extend, lift up, bend in to extend. Once you find extension, you're gonna put that in reverse now. You're gonna drag that in. You're gonna lift that up to the ceiling or the sky and pull that down. Bend in, extend up to pull down. 2 more. And lower 1 more time. Extend and pull down. That glute should really be awake on that side, so hopefully you're feeling that. Your top leg, we're gonna lift that up and you're gonna plant that in front of your other leg. Now, best case scenario, you're in the same position that I'm in. I know that's not the most easy position to hang out in. So you can also just lay this leg in front if that first position doesn't feel super comfortable. But if you can, you're here. That knee presses away from you. Now your bottom leg is going to be the one that's working. We're going to lift up that bottom leg and you're going to lower it. Lift and lower, lift and lower for 3, for 2. On your last one, hold it there. And then you're going to circle that bottom leg, reaching through your heel. Circle, circle, inner thigh works for 3, 2, and 1. Switch the direction. Circle, circle the other way. 3, 2, and 1. Lower that leg down. Your top leg is going to extend again. And we're going to flip over onto the other side. I'm going to flip so you can still see me, but typically you'd flip and face the other direction. But your choice. As long as you get over to the other side, that's all that matters. Backside lines up to the backside of your mat again. Whenever you get there, your feet are towards the front of your mat. Once you're there, again, anchor that bottom leg. Your top leg's going to lift up about hip height. You'll reach that leg forward and reach that leg back, squeeze your butt. Same rules apply on this side. Try to keep the rest of your body nice and stable. You shouldn't feel like you have much movement anywhere else besides that leg. Reach forward, reach back. Shortening the range of motion will always make things a little bit more stable if you need. Forward and back. Last one here. You're going to line that foot up with your opposing leg. That top leg's going to lift up to the ceiling and pull it down. Lift up to pull down. Lift and lower. Lift to lower. 2 more. Last one. When that leg comes down, you're going to circle it. Click those heels together each time it passes through if you can. Hello, glutes. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Switch the direction. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Passe. Lift up first. Bend in. Keep pointing that knee up to the ceiling as you press that leg away from you. Lift up, bend in, and press it away. Lift to bend in and press away. 1 more here, and then we do it in reverse. Find extension, and then switch it. Now drag that leg in. Extend it up to pull down. Pull in, lift up, and pull down. Pull in to lift and lower. Last one. Once you lower that leg all the way down, lift it back up to the ceiling and plant it in front of you. Whatever leg position you had on the other side, ideally you keep that the same, but as we probably know, we have one leg, or typically we're not even. We're not symmetrical beings, so you might have a little bit more tightness in one side. That's okay. All right, your bottom leg is going to lift and lower. Lift and lower. Keep that top knee pressing away from you for 3, 2, and 1. Hold it there and then circle your bottom leg. Reach through that heel. Circle, circle for 3, for 2, and for 1. And then switch your direction. For 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower that leg down. You can extend your top leg, and then I'm going to have you bring it up into a seated position. You're facing the end of your mat. Either end, does not matter. You can just let your head hang. If you want to extend your legs, give them a little stretch. Take a little breather. All right. I'm going to have you take your hands behind you so that you're just kind of supporting yourself. And your fingertips are pointed towards the corners of your mat. Your legs are in a bent position. I'm just going to have you let your knees sway to one side. So you're just getting a little stretch in your back and in your hips. Keep your shoulders pointed towards the front of your mat, but your hips can rotate. And then you're going to bring your knees to the opposite corner. Same rules apply here. See if you can keep your shoulders pointed forward, but your hips and your torso can try to rotate. And let's do that same thing again. Each side. And then returning back into your centered position. All right, once we are there, I'm going to have you flip your hands around so that your fingertips are pointed towards your butt. It's not the most comfortable position, but it is a nice little stretch for your wrists. If you have tight wrists, you'll probably feel that. All right, so from here, you're in a bent knee position. You're going to start by pulling your belly button into your spine and pressing your hands into the mat. So you're kind of opening up your chest before we even get started. Once you're there, you're going to squeeze your butt and start to float your hips off of the mat, lifting up into a tabletop position, and then slowly lowering that back down with control. So that a couple more times. Each time you lift up, maybe you can get just those hips up just a little bit higher, and then lower that back down. Do that same thing one more time. Abs in, squeeze your butt, press your knees together, lift, hold, and then lower. All right, that's a challenge in itself, but if you want to make it harder, you're going to start to extend your legs. Same thing, lift, squeeze. The further away your feet are from your butt, you're probably going to feel more hamstrings, and then lower that all the way back down. If you want to make it even more challenging still, try extending your legs. Point your toes, lift your hips up, hold it there, and then lower that down. Whatever position you have your legs in, keep them there. Let's do that same thing. Whether you have them straight like me, or if you have them bent, that is cool too. Let's do that one more time. Lift up, hold, and then lower down with control. All right, dive forward towards your toes. Give your wrists a little rest, a little breather. We're gonna go back to that same position. We're gonna add to it. So whether you have bent legs or straight legs or somewhere in between, we're gonna add a little extra love. So bring your hands back to your same position, your fingertips pointed towards your butt. You're gonna lift your hips up, hold it there. From here, you're gonna lift up one leg and lower that down and switch. And then switch. Whether your legs are bent or straight, your hips should not move as your leg lifts up. Let's go last couple on each side. Last one on the right, last one on the left. And then lower that down and dive forward towards your toes. Relax your wrists, circle them if you need to. And then returning back into your starting position. We're just gonna lift the hips up one more time just to transition us into the next exercise. So you're gonna lift your hips back up. Again, whether you have bent legs or straight legs, does not matter. You're gonna lift your hips up, and then you're gonna point your knees to the side of your mat and bring yourself into a seated position facing the side. Now I'll show you a couple different placements with your legs. This is gonna be your easiest variation with one leg in a 90-degree angle and one leg in a 90-degree angle behind you. So you have one right in front of the other. That's option one. Option two, a little bit more challenging. You're gonna stack your hips on top of one another, stack your knees. This would be another option. You can start with one and move on to the next, totally up to you. It's called mermaid. So from here, you have your hand that's closest to your legs. It's gonna hold you up. You're gonna hold on to your legs. Your opposite hand reaches up to the ceiling. You're gonna exhale as you reach towards your legs. Inhale, you're gonna stack up and find a T with your arms, and then lower down with control onto your elbow on the other side. Reach up and over. This should be a nice big stretch for you. You're gonna inhale to stack that back up, and exhale, reach the opposite way. Inhale to stack that all the way back up into your T, and then lower down onto your elbow, reaching up and over. Inhale, draw your abs in, stack up, find your T, and then reach up and over. Adding to our exercise a bit, you're gonna find your T position again. You're gonna lower down onto your elbow. You're gonna reach up and over, and also lift your hips up. Lift that bottom hip up off of the mat. You're gonna lower back down. Again, no matter how you place your legs, either whether they're in front of one another or you're stacked, does not matter. Reach up and over, reaching back into your starting position. Inhale to stack that back up, find your T, and then lower down onto your elbow, reach up and over, and then lift your hips up. Got one more there. Inhale to stack back up, exhale, reach. Find your T, tall spine, and then reach up and over, last one. Lift those hips up, hold it there, and then lower that down, returning back into your starting position. That hand that is coming up and over, take that behind your head. We've got a little different stretch. You're gonna reach that all the way across the body. Let your head hang down for a nice little stretch in the opposing part of your back. All right, from here, take your hands behind you, bring your legs to the other side. You'll still face the same way. You're just bringing your legs to the other side of your body. However you had your legs stacked on the other side, we'll do the same thing on this side. So whether you're one in front of the other or one leg stacked on top of the other, your choice. Hand that's closest to your leg is going to grab onto your legs. Opposite hand reaches up and over. Exhale to reach. Inhale to stack back up. Lower down with control onto your elbow, reaching up and over. Hips stay down for now. Inhale to stack back up. And exhale, reach. Breathe in. 2, breathe out. Inhale, stack back up. Exhale, reach. Now on this next one is where our hips are going to lift. Find your T first. Lower down with control. And then lift as you reach that arm up and over. Draw your abs in, squeeze your butt to lift. Inhale to stack that all the way back up. Exhale and reach. Breathe in and breathe out. Hips lift up. We've got one more in each direction. All the way up and over. Inhale to exhale. Last one here is your hips lift up. Hold it for 3, for 2, and for 1. Lower your hips down, reach that up and over. This far hand goes behind your head and cross that over for a little stretch. All right, from there, you're gonna face the end of your mat and boost yourself up so that you have a little bit of space. You want a little bit of space at the front of your mat and you want plenty of space behind you. Once you have that, we'll find you're gonna take your hands, you're gonna dive them through the inside of your legs, grabbing onto the outsides of your ankles so that you're holding on and you can float your feet off of the mat. This exercise is called seal, okay? You're gonna keep your chin tucked into your chest, kind of channel your rolling like a ball position. You just have a little bit different placement with your hands and your feet, but same thing is going to happen. You're gonna roll back and you're gonna roll up and balance at the top. Try to keep your legs pressing into your arms pressing into your legs, creating tension in the tummy. Every single one of those little bones in your back makes contact to the mat. Have you do a couple more here. And I have another challenge for you. All right, last one. When you come up, you can pause there for just a second and plant your feet down. Now this exercise, we bring it up into a standing position. So if you're up for the challenge, what will happen is you are going to roll back and you're gonna roll up. You're gonna release your hands from your legs. You're gonna cross your legs and bring yourself up into a standing position. If you wanna see what that looks like first before you do it, I'll show you right now. And then if you wanna give it a go, you are more than welcome to. If you're like, no, thank you, Abby, I would like to not fall on my face, you can just bring it up to a standing position after you are done with your roll back to roll up. So if you want to see what it looks like, you roll back, you release, you cross, you stand up, and you flip around and face your mat. So go ahead, give that a go if you'd like. Or just stand it up, your choice. Haley, what a pro. Sue, what a pro. Nice job. Oh my God, you guys are all pros. Give it another go, Dad, you got it. Roll back to roll up. Yeah, nice job. Okay, great. All right, so you're on the end of your mat, heels are together, toes are apart. You are now facing your mat. You're gonna draw your abs in, reach your hands up to the ceiling, just like how we started today. You're gonna dive down, reach to your toes, let your head hang. From there, you're gonna walk it out. Find your plank position. Should be easy peasy. Now it's the 14th time we've done this today. Reach it forward, reach it back. You're bending and extending at your ankles. Finding that connection to your core. Reach your hips back up to the ceiling. Your head hangs. Walk your hands all the way back to your feet. Draw your abs in, stacking that all the way back up. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. And then you can bring your arms down. Widen your feet a bit so that you're about hip distance apart. You're not in your Pilates stance anymore. From there, I'm gonna have you keep a flat back. Rather than rounding, you're hinging. So from here, you'll take your hands to the backside of your head. You're gonna send your hips back, keeping your back flat. And then you're gonna stack up again, squeezing your butt, drawing your abs in. So you should find that stretch in the back of the legs. Stack back up, squeeze your butt. Reach the hips back and stack back up. Let's do that 2 more times. And squeeze your butt at the top. One more. Once you come back up, bring your arms down. We're going to try that same thing on one leg. So you're going to find balance first on one leg. If that feels okay, you're going to start to hinge back and then bring that back up into your tall starting position. I'm going to step just a little bit forward so I don't run into my fence back there. Reach back or reach down and then stack back up. Try to stay balanced all the way through. Let's do that 2 more times. And then once you get 2 more, switch sides. Find balance first. Reach down for those toes. And then come back up. Ideally, your back stays flat and your hips stay facing forward. So you're not opening the hips to make that happen. Last 2 here. And last one. Once you return back into your starting position, again, you can bring your heels back together. One final little challenge for you to end our class today. You are going to lift up your heels just barely off of the mat. Nothing too crazy, not like a super high lift, just a little bit of a baby lift. Press your inner thighs together. Press your heels together. Reach your hands up to the ceiling. You are lifted on your toes. You're going to dive down carefully to your toes. Let your head hang. Keep your heels lifted as you roll down. And then you're going to stack that all the way back up. Draw your abs in, lower back, mid back, upper back, everything stacks back up to the ceiling. Reach your arms up, and then you can bring your arms down and bring your heels down. And you guys are done and dusted. Way to go. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Abby.
Thanks, Abby.
Yes,
Happy
thank you
Thanksgiving.
guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
Safe travels.
Bye, guys.
Happy Thanksgiving,
Thank
everybody.
you.